Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Unleashed. I'm Tom. Today, I will talk about a famous book called Start with Why. The author is Simon Sinek. But don't worry, we will not use difficult words. I will not speak fast, and I will not rush. We will learn slowly. We will learn clearly. And we will learn together. This book is not just about business. It is about motivation, meaning, and why you do what you do. And yes, it is very important for learning English. Many people start learning English with excitement. They buy books, they download apps, they watch videos, but after some weeks, they stop. Why? Because they start with what? What book should I use? What app is best? What accent should I learn? But they forget something very important. They forget why. Why do you want to speak English? Why does it matter to you? Why is it part of your life? So this book will help us answer these questions slowly, clearly, and with lots of examples. You can listen, you can pause, you can shadow, you can think. Now, take a breath, sit comfortably, and let's begin. All right, let me ask you a simple question. Why do you wake up in the morning? Not what do you do, not where do you go, but why? For some people, this is a difficult question. They say, I don't know. Or they say, because I have to. The author says something very interesting. He says that people do not buy what you do. He says that you should not start with what you do. You should start with why you do what you want to do. This idea is the heart of the book. He calls it the golden circle. Imagine 3 circles. The first circle in the center is why. The second circle is how. The third circle is what. Now, most people start from the outside. They start with what? What books they want to use, what podcasts they want to listen to. Then they talk about how. I use this method. I study every day. I watch videos. But very few people start with why. Why do I want to speak English? Why does it matter to me? And this changes everything. Let me give you a clear example. Many learners say, I want to learn English because I need it. This is not a strong why. Need is not strong. It is weak. Need does not create energy. Now listen to this. I want to learn English because I want to speak confidently when I travel. I want to learn English because I want a better job. I want to learn English because I want to understand movies without subtitles. I want to learn English because I want to feel proud of myself. This is why. And when you know your why, something interesting happens. You do not quit easily. You do not stop after one bad day. You do not stop when you feel tired. Because your why pulls you forward. The author says that our brain works in a special way. The part of the brain that understands why is emotional. It is about feelings. It is about trust. It is about belief. The part of the brain that understands what is logical. It is about facts. It is about lists. It is about information. This is very important for language learning. You can know all the grammar rules. You can know many words. But if you don't feel connected to English, you will stop. This is why many learners say, I know English, but I can't speak. They learned the what, but they forgot the why. Now, let me tell you a short story. Imagine two students. Student A studies English every day, but he feels stressed. He feels forced. He feels tired. Why? Because his why is weak. He says, I study English because my teacher told me to. I study English because I must pass an exam. Now, student B. She studies English every day too. But she smiles. She enjoys it. Why? Because her why is queer. Her reason is clear. She says, I study English because I want to talk to people from other countries. I study English because I want to change my life. Same action, different why, very different result. Now, the author also talks about leaders. Great leaders don't say, here is what we do. They say, this is why we exist. And people follow them, not because they have to, but because they want to. This is also true for teachers. If I say, in this podcast, we will learn vocabulary and grammar, that is what. But if I say, in this podcast, I want to help you feel calm, confident, and proud when you speak English, that is why. And your brain listens differently. Now, let's make this more personal. I want you to pause for a moment. Ask yourself slowly, why do I want to learn English? Not a short answer, not a fast answer. A real answer. Maybe your why is about freedom. Maybe you want to feel independent, not controlled. Maybe your why is about confidence. You want to believe in yourself. Maybe your why is about connection. You want to talk to others, you want to share, and you want to understand. So, your why does not need to be big. It just needs to be true. In English Unleashed, we don't chase speed. We don't chase perfection. We chase meaning. Because when learning has meaning, it lasts. All right. Now, the author says something very simple, but very powerful. This is about business, but it is also related to learning. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. This sentence is not just about business. It is about human behavior, it is about trust, and it is about belief. It is very important for language learning. Okay, here is a queer example. If you say, I learn English to improve my vocabulary, that is a fact, but it does not touch your heart. If you say, I learn English because I don't want to feel small when I travel, or I learn English because I want to express my ideas clearly, or I learn English because I want my voice to be heard, that creates emotion. And emotion creates action. This is why motivation comes and goes for many learners. They start with facts. They forget feelings. Okay, now let's talk about language identity. Language identity means how you see yourself in a language. Many learners say, I'm bad at English. I'm shy in English. I'm not a language person. This is not grammar. This is belief. And beliefs are powerful. If you believe English is not for you, your brain will protect you from pain. It will say, don't speak, don't try, stay quiet. But if you change the belief, the behavior changes too. Try this instead. I am learning English. I am allowed to make mistakes. My English is growing. These sentences are simple, but they touch your why. They connect English to growth, not danger. Now, the author explains that great leaders create followers who believe, and you need to become a leader for yourself. You lead your own learning. You don't say, I have to study English. You say, I choose to study English because it matters to me. That small change is huge. The word have to feels heavy. The word choose to feels powerful. Okay, now let's slow down and think. Let's reflect. Think about this question. When I learn English, do I feel pushed or pulled? Pushed here means you are pressured. Pulled means you have a purpose. If you feel pushed, your why is unclear. And that is okay. This podcast exists for that reason. In English Unleashed, we don't shout at you. We don't rush you. We remind you why you started. Because when you remember your why, you don't need motivation videos. You don't need discipline tricks. You just keep going. All right. Now I want to talk about clarity. The author says something that may surprise you. He says that clarity is more important than intelligence, than talent. This means something very simple. People don't follow ideas because they are smart. People follow ideas because they are clear. And this is very important for English learners. Many learners think, I need difficult words to sound smart. I need long sentences to sound advanced. But this is not true. Clear English is strong English. Simple English is powerful English. Let me explain. Imagine two people speaking English. Person A says, due to the fact that I was unable to attend the previously scheduled meeting, I would like to express my sincere apologies. Person B says, I'm sorry I couldn't come to the meeting. Which one feels clearer? Which one feels more human, not generated by AI? Most people prefer person B, not because it is perfect, but because it is clear. It is human. So the author explains that when the why is clear, the how and the what become simple. Confusion does not come from lack of knowledge. Confusion comes from lack of clarity. This is exactly what happens in language learning. Many learners feel confused because they try to learn everything at the same time. Grammar rules, idioms, phrasal verbs, accents. Their mind becomes noisy. When there is noise, learning stops. Clarity means knowing what matters now. For example, at A2 level, what matters most? Not perfect grammar, not rare words. What matters is being understood. If people understand you, communication is successful. Now, the author gives an important idea. He says that great communicators are not those who say the most. They are those who say the clearest thing. This is a very good lesson for speaking English. You don't need to say a lot. You need to say what matters. Let me give you an English learning example. Instead of saying, I'm in the process of attempting to improve my English speaking abilities, you can say, I'm learning to speak English better. Same meaning, clearer message. Clear messages feel honest. They feel confident. And confidence is not about speed. Confidence is about calm. Now let's talk about something called consistency of message. The author says that when your why is clear, your message stays the same. You don't change your story every day. This is important for English learners too. Many learners change methods all the time. One week, grammar, next week, vocabulary, next week, pronunciation, then nothing. Why does this happen? Because there is no clear why. When your why is clear, you don't jump all the time. You say, my goal is to speak English calmly in daily life. So you choose activities that support that. Listening, shadowing, simple speaking practice. Not everything, just what supports your why. This reduces stress, and less stress means better learning. Okay, now I talk about something many learners ask me. How do I keep going? You may start learning English with energy. You feel excited. You feel hopeful. But after some time, the energy goes down. This is very normal. The author explains something important. He says that energy is not enough. Energy is in motion. Emotion comes and goes. One day you feel motivated. Next day you feel tired. So if you depend only on motivation, you will stop. This is why many learners quit. They say, I don't feel like studying today. But here is the key idea. People who succeed do not rely on motivation. They rely on belief and discipline. Discipline does not mean punishment. Discipline means choosing again. Choosing your lie again, even on bad days. Now, let's connect this to English learning. Imagine this situation. You come home tired. You don't want to listen. You don't want to speak. If your reason is weak, you stop. But if your why is strong, something different happens. You say, I don't feel like it, but I know why this matters. And you do something small. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe one short audio. And that small action keeps the habit alive. The author talks about cause and effect. Cause is why you do something. Effect is what happens. If the cause is strong, the effect lasts. If the cause is weak, the effect goes away. It disappears. This explains something important. Many learners look for tricks, new apps, new methods, new challenges. These are effects, but they don't fix the cause. The cause is always why. Now let's talk about another word, burnout. Burnout means feeling empty and tired because you push too hard. Many learners burn out because they study with pressure. They say, I must learn fast. I must speak perfectly. I must not make mistakes. This creates stress, and stress blocks meaning. People who work for meaning last longer. This is very important. If you study English only for exams, only for scores, only for comparison, you will feel tired. But if you study English because it is part of who you are becoming, because it connects to your future self, then even slow progress feels good. Let me give you a simple example. Two learners study for 1 hour. Learner A thinks, I studied 1 hour and I still make mistakes. Learner B thinks, I studied 1 hour because I am building my future. Same time, different feeling, different energy. All right, and that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of English Unleashed. I'm Tom, and until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. Bye for now.